कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविता शाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम् वाल्मीकिर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानादं को न याति परां गतिम् यः पिबन् सततं रामचरितामृतसागरम् अतृप्तस्थं मुनिं वन्दे प्राचेतसमकल्मषम् गोष्पतीकृतवाराशिं मशकीकृतराक्षसं रामायणमहामाला रत्नं वन्दे नीलात्मजम् अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकीशोकनाशनं कपीशम् अक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करं मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वादात्मजं वानरयूतमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारी परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमद राक्षसान्तकं वाल्मीकिगिरिसम्भूत रामसागरगामिनी पुनादिभुवनं पुण्या रामायणमहानदी वेदवेद्ये परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदप्राचेतसादासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना आपतामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहं रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः मङ्गलं कौसलेन्द्राय महनीय गुणाब्धये चक्रवर्ती तनूजाय सार्वभौमाय मङ्गलम् सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भई सब संतन की जय सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Climbing the mountain there was the intent, and all the Vanaras following Sri Rama started to do the same thing, and Sri Rama very clearly had said who has to stay at which part of the Lanka to make sure that the war is contained within that land itself. Also, a very important thing that he did say was, except himself, Lakshmana, Vibhishana, and 4 of Vibhishana's ministers, total 7, all others will remain as in their original form, including Jambavan. And this sign of the army will be monkey. And this very interesting statement by him, only to show that Ravana should feel so humiliated that he is going to be defeated by monkeys, not anybody else. And the interesting thing is that Ravana, who is so arrogant, who always won many, many wars everywhere, cannot expect that he will be defeated in his own country, in his own place of ruling. That's the reason why he made sure that all the entrances are covered, and then slowly they started to ascend the beautiful mountain there. This part of it is to explain the beauty of that great city ruled by Ravana. We see from verse number 24, canto number 38. Te tvadirgena kalena
ते त्वदीर्घेण कालेन
गिरिमारुह्य सर्वतः
गिरिमारुह्य सर्वतः
तदृशुः शिखरे तस्य
ददृशुः शिखरे तस्य
विषक्ताम् इव स्वे विषक्ताम् इव के पुरीम्
विषक्तामिव खेपुरीं
ताम् शुभाम् प्रवरद्वाराम्
तां शुभां प्रवरद्वारां
प्रकारवरशोभिताम्
प्रकारवरशोभितां
लङ्काम् राक्षससम्पूर्णाम्
लङ्कां राक्षससम्पूर्णां
ददृशुः अरियोतपाः
ददृशुः अरियूथपाः
प्राकारवरसंस्थैश्च
प्राकारवरसंस्थैश्च
तथा नीलैश्च राक्षसैः
तथा नीलैश्च राक्षसैः
ददृशुस्ते हरिश्रेष्ठाः
ददृशुस्ते हरिश्रेष्ठाः
प्रकारम् अपरं कृतम्
प्राकारमपरं कृतम्
ते दृष्ट्वा वानराः सर्वे
ते दृष्ट्वा वानराः सर्वे
राक्षसान् युद्धकाङ्क्षिणः
राक्षसान् युद्धकाङ्क्षिणः
मुमुचुः विविधान् नादान्
मुमुचुः विविधान् नादान्
तस्य रामस्य पश्यतः
तस्य रामस्य पश्यतः
ततोस्तममगमत् सूर्यः
ततोस्तमत् अगमत् सूर्यः
सन्ध्यया प्रतिरक्षितः
सन्ध्यया
प्रतिरञ्चितः सन्ध्यया प्रतिरञ्चितः
सन्ध्यया प्रतिरञ्जितः
पूर्णचन्द्रप्रदीप्ता च
पूर्णचन्द्रप्रदीप्ता च
क्षपासमतिवर्तत
क्षपासमतिवर्तत
ततः स रामो हरिवाहिनीपतिः
ततः स रामो हरिवाहिनीपतिः
विभीषणेन प्रतिबन्ध्य सत्कृतः
विभीषणेन प्रतिनद्य सकृतः
स लक्ष्मणो यूतपयूतसंयुतः
सलक्ष्मणो यूतपयूतपसंयुतः
सुवेलपृष्ठे न्यवसत् यथा सुखम्
सुवेलपृष्ठे न्यवसद्यथा सुखम्.
They, all of them, adirgena kalena tu, within no time, within a very short time, in other words, adirgena kalena, girim sarvataha girim aruhya, from all sides, having climbed that mountain Suvela, shikare tasya Bishaktam iva ke purim dadrshuhu. They started to see Purim, the Lanka Puri, tasya shikare, tasya parvatasya shikare. Of that summit of that Suvela mountain, they saw Vishaktam iva ke Vishaktam iva, suspended in the sky, as though. So Lanka is not on the ground. It's interesting that it is seen as though suspended from the sky. Ke Vishaktam iva tasya purim sadrushuhu. And they also saw the huge opening, Pravaradwaram Shubham Tam Pravaradvaram dadrshuhu Prakara Shobhitam. Prakara, it is fully covered with a huge wall. The door and the wall to that Lanka is so beautiful. Lankam Rakshasa Sampurnam Dadrshuhu. Filled with all the Rakshasas. They saw it. Haryutapaha Dadrshuhu. These the monkeys who are there as a huge army there. And on the prakara, on the walls, obviously, the soldiers, Rakshasas, they were roaming with a gun. Not gun, obviously. With weapons. With probably carrying a mace or very terrible such weapons. Prakara samstaischa, neelaischa rakshasaihi tada. They are all dark blue complexion. And so the fort, the huge fort that was there, the gate, the wall, and on the top of it, again, the huge Rakshasas, dark complexion, they looked like another wall. Tadrushuhu te harishreshtaha prakaram aparam kritam. Another set of wall. Meaning that is so, they are so strong like a huge wall. They are seen also standing there to protect the city. Te drishtva vanaraha sarve, seeing all of them, Rakshasan yuddhakangshinaha vanaraha. So Vanaras saw these Rakshasas and desires to fight them because they were very jubilant. Now, for a warrior or a king, for a soldier, the war will be a game. So it is like, if you are practicing, if you are a football player or a basketball player or a cricket player, and you are training yourself in many ways and new techniques you have learned, you will be looking forward to the game. Because game, there for them, it is a field of joy. In the same way, for a soldier, war or battle is not a threat. War is a game, war game. And they want to express their prowess and skill and then techniques. So here, Yuddhakangshinaha vanaraha, they become very jubilant now. Muchuhu vivitan nadan. Therefore, they started releasing various kinds of sound. Tasya Ramasya pashyataha. Even as Rama was watching them, they became so jubilant. Here is a field for us to destroy. And nagging their hand, and their hands are nagging. Some people they say, no, my hands are nagging. I want to really fight it out. In that way, Tato astamam agamat. So Surya astamagamat, it started to settle down because the whole day they were ascending the Suvela mountain. Sandhya pradiranchitaha, the entire sky has become orangish red due to the the Sandhya Samaya, twilight. Purna Chandra Deepta Chakshapa Samadhi Vartata. At the Kshapa is the night has become fully brightened by the full moon. Purna Chandra Pradeepa Chakshapa Samadhi Vartata. Tataha, thereafter, Saramaha Harivahini Pati, that is Sugriva, Vibhishanena Pradeep Nandya Satkritaha. So now, being now welcomed by Vibhishana. By why? Vibhishana and Sugriva. Vibhishana welcomed him because you have come to my place. My city you have arrived. I am here to duly welcome you. So, therefore, Salakshmanaha, along with Rama, with Lakshmana, Yutapa Samyutaha, with all the commander generals, Suvela Prukshte, at the very top of the Suvela, what did he do there? Nyavasat Yata Sukam. He stood, he is camped there as joyfully as he could. Of course, he is also happy because very soon he is going to meet his own wife who is lost for a long time. इत्याश्य श्रीमद् रामायणे वाल्मीकि आदि काव्ये युद्धकाण्डे 28 सर्गः 38. Now, the intent of climbing the mountain is to have a good look at the Lanka. Before proceeding on to fight, he needs to have an idea about where exactly the armies are placed, how Ravana will be attacking us, defending them in the city, how to very carefully engage in that. But at the same time, here, Lanka, ruled by Ravana, was not another city. It is another Swarga. Because Lanka had an enormous amount of wealth. Ravana, having conquered 3 worlds, has brought all wealth into Lanka. And also captured many people who are experts. Gardeners, dancers, musicians, architects. Best of the world has been brought into Lanka to create a heaven on earth. And so, Lanka is said to be another abode of Indra. So that is the beauty of it, and then there is some amount of description of that coming up. Tam ratrim ushitastatra
Amratrim ushitastatra
Suvele hariyutapaha
Suvele hariyutapaha
Lankayam dadrshuh veeraha
Lankayam dadrushur veeraha
Vananyupavanani cha
Vananyupavanani cha
Samasomyani ramyani
Samasaumyani ramyani
Vishalyan Vishalanyayatani cha
Vishalanyayatani cha
Drishtiramyani Hrishtiramyani te drishtva
Drishtiramyani te drishtva
Babuvuhu Jata vismayaha
Babhuhurjata vismayaha
Chambaka shoka bakula. Sorry, it's smudged here. Chambaka shoka bakula.
Champaka shoka bakula
Bakula.
Bakula
Shalatala samakula.
Shalatala samakula
Tamala vana sanchanna.
Tamala vana sanchanna
Nagamala samavruta.
Nagamala samavruta
Hintaleir arjunair nipaihi.
Hintalairarjunairnipaihi
Saptaparnai supushpitaihi.
Saptaparnaihi supushpitaihi
Tilakai karnikaraischa.
Ilakaihi karnikaraischa
Patalaischa samantataha.
Patalaischa samantataha
Shushubhe pushpidagraischa.
Sushubhe pushpitagraischa
Lata parigatair drumaihi.
Lata parigatair
Lanka bahuvidair drishaihi.
Lanka bahuvidair divyaihi
Yatendrasyamaravati.
Yetendratyamaravati
Tam ratrim ushitaha. Those Tam Lankayam dadrshuhu, that is main point. That very Lanka they saw, who Ratrim Ushitaha Tatra, those who stayed there in the night, Suvele, in that very mountain called Suvela, Hariyutapaha, the monkey army, Lankayam Tam Dadrshuhu. Who are the Dhira, Viraha, Ariyutapaha. And what kind of Lanka is there? That is what is explained here. Vanani Upavanani cha. They saw the forest and further smaller part of the forest which are more maintained, that is called Upavana. Udyana Upavana. So there are varieties of ways clusters of trees can be grown. When it is wild, it is vanam. When it is grows, it is upavanam. When it is maintained very carefully, it is called udyanam. Udyanam is a garden. Upavana is what you call the groves. And vanam is wild. Where nobody maintains it, maintains itself. So what do you call this? National forests. National forests are those which are, obviously, they are wild growth only, but to some extent they are not outgrowing into the city. They were very much contained. So what you grow behind your home or in the front yard, backyard, they are all more controlled growth in the same way here. So they saw that, and the land was very much leveled. Samasaumyani Ramyani Vishalani Ayatani cha, very long and wide. Vishala, wide, Ayata, long. Drishti Ramyani, to see it is very pleasant to the eyes. Te Drishtva Babuhu, and they became very Hrishta Drishtva Babuhu. Jada Vismayaha Babuhu, they became very wonderstruck because this skillful garden and beauty leveled place, the two, is only showing that there are intelligent, thoughtful, tasteful people living here. See, when you say Rakshasas, we always think that they are living in the wilderness and all. But here, even though Ravana is a Rakshasa, but he had very good taste on doing things. He was a great, skillful person in many, many respects. And his country also represents that. If you go to a teenager's room, you know that no intelligent person is living there. Some wild animal is there. Thrown here, there, and clothes somewhere else. Something is hanging from the fan also. And nothing, some pictures are put there on the wall, you cannot even see them. Covered with everything, and so you know there is some wild animal staying in this place. And what are the kinds of trees that are there? Champaka, Ashoka, Bakula, then Shalatala. So that is called a palm tree. And Shala, and then palm tree. Tala, Samakula, Tamala, and also there are very groves of Tamala, Vanasanchanna, Nagamala, rows of Naga trees, that is called Nagamala, Samavruta, Hintala. Then there are many other trees also, which are known as Hintala, Arjuna, Nipa, Saptaparna. All of them are fully blossoming there. So, Hintalaihi, Arjunaihi, Nipaihi, Saptapurnaihi, Supushpitaihi. Then further also other trees called Tilaka, Karnika, Patala, all of them are there, well grown, Samantata. Sushube, they are beautiful, Pushpita graced, and all of them are fully blossomed during that time, and also being completely covered with the creepers. Lata Parigataihi Drumaihi. All the trees were all fully covered with the creepers as well. Lanka Bahuvitaihi Drishyaihi Yata Indrasya Amaravati. And it is appeared like the gardens of the gardens of Indra, which is known as Amaravati. Amaravati is the name of the garden of Indra. So that, obviously you can expect that in the Swarga, but not in Lanka. So when they saw that, they were wonderstruck completely. Vismayaha babu. Then here continuing, Vichitra Kusumopetaihi Rakta Komala Bhallavaihi Shadvalaicha Tata Nilaihi Chitrabirvanarajibihi Kandatyan Atiramyani Pushpani Chapalani Cha Darayantyamagastatra Darayantyagamasatra Bhushananiva manavaha Tachaitra Rata Sankasham Manogyam Nandanopamam Vanam Sarvartukam Vanam Sarvartukam Ramyam Shushubhe Shatpadayutam Datyuha Koyashti Bagaihi Nrityamanaicha Barhinaihi Rutam Paramrutanam Cha Shushruve Vana Nirjare. The poet here, Valmiki, is trying to bring the entire place of Lanka, the beauty of the Lanka in your mind's canvas. Gurudev always would say, the word paint. The poet's beauty is how he brings the beauty of a thing by describing it is in the best way to make the mind of the listener to see what he sees. Isn't it? It's not a prose. A prose is just a statement of fact. As Gurudev also, when he speaks, he would make sure that you really feel it. It is not brilliant. It is a brilliant fire. You just cannot go anywhere else. You have to be attentive. It is very soft. You have to make your mind go along, glide with him. So here, with the words, he is trying to explain what beauty is seeing. Vichitra Kusuma Upedaihi, various kinds of flowers there. Rakta Komala Pallavaihi, which are very soft, Komala. At the same time, red in color, the leaves are. Shadwalaischa, that Shadwala is the name of that mountain that that the Shadwala mountain, very mountain, Subela is the name of the mountain, but the trees that were there known as Shadwala, and Shadwalai cha tada Neelaihi Chitrabihi Vanarajibihi. By that blue color, various trees there, and they are most charming to the mind. Chitra means beautiful. Chitrabihi, Vanarajibihi. They are the very kingly, beautiful trees there. Then Gandhadyani Atiramyani. They also having most beautiful fragrance. Gandhatyani Atiramyani, most delightful to the mind. Pushpanicha Palanicha, flowers and fruits. Dharayanti Agamaha Tatra. They are all the trees were yielding and wielding those kind of flowers and fruits, and it's called Agamaha. Maybe you remember, Naga also is known for tree. Naga means Nagachati is the Naga. So Naga also means mountain, whereas Naga is different. So here he uses the word Agama. Nagachati iti Agama. Agamaha. Cannot go. Meaning Stavaram. So Agamaha tatra Bhushanani iva manavaha. Like human beings wear various ornaments on their body, in the same way, the tree is ornamented with flowers. You can, if you want to ask more, know more about it, ask Sundari about it. How the ornaments are to be put. They cannot put just any garland or the necklace and other randomly. It has to form correctly, the color combinations and all that. So when you look at the nature, it is not affecting your eyes. It is giving such an amount of calmness to the mind. And the eyes are so get well tuned to that color combinations. And so the trees were decorated as though by the flowers. And Tachaitra Rada Sankasham. It is equal to also the garden of Kubera, which is known as Chaitra Rata. Amaravati is the city of Indra, whereas Nandana is the garden of Indra, where Chaitra Rata is the garden of Kubera. Chaitra Rata Sangasham Manogyam, delightful, Nandana Upamamam. It is also equal to the garden of Indra known as Nandana. Vanam Sarva Rutukam. Sarva Rutukam means this forest having varieties of just such trees, they are always in blossom in all season. 4-season forests. So nowadays then they have a chain of 4 seasons. Similarly, this forest also 4 seasons. Sarva Rutukam Ramyam Sushubhe Shatpadayudam. Also infested with all the Shatpada. Shatpada means bees. Bees having 6 foot. 6 feet, not 6 feet. So they are called Shatpadaha. So Shatpadayudam. Datyuha koya shti bakaihi nrityamanescha. And various kinds of birds were also, they were all dancing about there. Datyuha is a kind of a variety of cuckoo bird. Then koyashti, lapwings, baka, herons, and nrityamanehi barhinai, peacocks which are dancing there. Rutam paramarutanam parabrutanam cha, and also cuckoo bird making a very singing tone there. Rutam parabrutanam cha shushruve mananirjare. This is also heard while there are waterfalls also there. The waterfalls are there and the sound of these birds are also heard. That's why it makes it so beautiful. Nityamatta vihangani
Nityamatta vihangani
brahmaracharitani cha
samaracharitani cha
kokila bakula kandani kokila kula kandani
kokila kula khandani
vihanga birutani cha
vihanga bhirutani cha
bringarajadi gitani
bhrungarajadi gitani
kurarasvanitani cha
purarasvanitani cha
konalaka vigushtani
konalaka vigushtani
sarasabirutani cha
sarasabhirutani cha
vivishuste tatastani
vivishuste tatastani
vananyupavanani cha
vananyupavanani cha
दृष्ट्वा प्रमुदिता वीराः
दृष्टा प्रमुदिता वीराः
हरयः कामरूपिणः
हरयः कामरूपिणः
तेषां प्रविशतां तत्र
तेषां प्रविशतां तत्र
वानराणां महोजसाम्
वानराणां महौजसां
पुष्पसंसर्गसुरभिः
पुष्पसंसर्गसुरभिः
ववो प्राणसमो निलः
ववौ घ्राणसुखो निलः.
Here, nityamatta vihangani. Matta means kind of intoxicated. Nityamatta vihangani. Because of these flowers, etc., producing so much of fragrance, the birds that are always intoxicated. You know, there is a place very near to, on the way to Badrinath, known as Valley of Flowers. I know how many of you have visited that place. It is on the way to, but it's a little deviation from Badrinath. And if you go there, you cannot stay there for too long. Especially overnight, you are not allowed to stay there. Because the valley is full of such an vast amount of flowers. And the fragrance and makaranda that is there produced, especially during the season of spring. And all other seasons also, but especially in the season of spring. Which is when most people start to go there. Because they open up sometime around May, but by the time full blossom has already happened, because until then it's all snow and all everything. But when the spring season, late spring season, when it happens, people go there in large number to see the opening of the Badrinath temple. People do visit this Valley of Flowers as well. It is said, if you are not prepared, you go crazy. Because the smell of the flowers are so strong and intoxicating. Sometimes you will get headache, and many times you will fall unconscious, and maybe will go crazy. If you want to make anybody crazy, take them quietly to that place and leave them. You don't need to do anything. So here, nityamatta vihangani. They are always intoxicated. Brahmara charitanicha, and also continuously visited by the various bees. Kokila kulakhandani. Various kinds of cuckoo birds are also infested in the entire section of the tree. Vihanga abhirutanicha, and also the sound of all the birds are also heard. Bringarajadi gitani. The black bees are called Bringaraja. The black bees are also adigitani. They are also singing. Kurarava Swanitanicha, and also the sound of the various other small birds, big birds, and everything are also heard there. And this place, thus filled with all, smell is also good, and fragrance is there, flowers are there to look at beauty, sound of various birds and others, and Konalaka Vidrishtani. Konala is a kind of water bird, and Vidrishtani Sarasa Abhirutani. And also we can hear the cranes who are all crying at their top of their voice. Crying means making big sound. Bivishuhu te vanani upavanicha. Te means this all the monkeys who are looking at all that, they started to enter. Te tataha tani vanani upavananicha. These big forests and smaller one, Hrishtaha Pramutitaha Viraha. Very delighted, intoxicated, these Viraha, Harayaha, Kamarupinaha. Those monkeys who can take any form they want, but as instructed by Rama, all of them will remain as Vanaras only, they will not change their forms. Tesham Pravishatam Tatra Vanaranam Mahojasam. As they started to enter into that beautiful Lanka, Mahojasam Vanaranam, and it is appearing like to welcome them, this breeze that was there flowing also carried the fragrance and slowly, softly welcomed them, as though Pushpa Samsarga Surabhir Bhavau. But Anilaha Bhavau. Bhavau means it started to flow. Vahati means to flow. Bhavau. It is not the sound of a dog or anything. Wow. No, it is flow of this beautiful breeze there, filled with Pushpa Samsarga Surabhi. They mixed with the fragrance of various flowers. Prana Samaha, like that of a breath. It slowly started to flow there. Anye tu hariviranam.
Anye tu hariviranam.
Yutan nishkramya yutapaha.
Yutan nishkramya yutapaha.
Sugrivena abhyanagnatam.
Sugrivena abhyanugnatam.
Lankam jagmuhu patakinim.
Lankam jagmuhu patakinim.
Vitrasayanto vihagan.
Vitrasayanto vihagan.
Glapayanto mrigadvipan.
Glapayanto mrugadvipan.
Kampayantascha tam lankam.
Kampayantascha tam lankam.
Nate svair nadatam varaha.
Nadaisvairnadatam varaha.
Purvantaste mahavegaha.
Purvantaste mahavegaha.
Mahim charana piditam.
Mahim charana piditam.
Rajascha sahasair
Urdhvam.
Sahasaivortvam. Rajascha sahasaivortvam.
Rajascha sahasaivortvam.
Jagama charanottitam.
Jagama charanottitam.
Rukshaha simhascha mahishaha.
Rukshaha simhascha mahisha.
Varanascha mruga kagaha.
Varanascha mruga kagaha.
Tena shabdena vitrastaha.
Tena shabdena vitrastaha.
Jagmurbita disho dasha.
Jagmurbhita disho dasha.
While this entire garden welcoming them with a very soft air that is flowing, with the fragrance mixed with the fragrance of the flowers, all of them. Anye tu hariviranam yutan nishkramya yutapaha. Yutan, hariviranam yutan, then a very army of the soldiers, they, all others also, they entered Sugrivena Abhyanugnatam, being admitted, permitted by Sugriva, Lankam Jagmuhu Patakinim. They started to carry flags and started to move in. Because until Sugriva commands it, the army cannot enter there. So they have to get the permission, and then they proceeded on there. And some of them were not going along with the army. So they moved away from the main. Yutan Nishkramya. The main army was going in one direction. The another set of them, Anye Yutapaha, Hariviranam Yutan Nishkramya, moving away from that, they started to carry the flag and then move about. And these monkeys who are wild in nature, Bihagan Vitrasayantaha, frightening all the birds there, Mruga Dvipan Klapayantaha, scaring away all, agitating all the deers and Dvipa. Dvipa means elephants. Why Dvipaha? Dvi pipati iti Dvipaha. Pa to pa pipati. Pa is to drink. Dvipa, meaning what? They have two mouths. I didn't know that they have two mouths. Yes, one here, one through the nose. That is called Dvipa. They can drink in two ways. They are very capable of it. The nose also is mouth. Otherwise, how will they drink water? See, how intelligent is the creation? You tell me. How will they drink water? Is it possible? By themselves, somebody is putting there in the mouth, it's different. So they have naturally grown, what is it called?
Trunk.
Straw.
Trunk. Straw.
They are naturally grown straw. They don't need to go a straw at all. They'll just, through the nose, they will drink. Otherwise, it's difficult for them to, that third, it's also called hand. It also acts as a hand for them, because they can pick up things from the top and then pull the things from the trees or the even. So that end tip, if you look at it, it is like kind of sharp. So that's where they keep looking at. Okay, they smell or they look for things, and when it's something which is to be drunk, there itself. To be smelled, there itself. To pick it up, there itself. So they have very many purposes of that very trunk. And most importantly, to beat up somebody. Because four-leg, it has to stay. It has to beat up somebody. One hit, finished you are. So how strong is that very fifth hand? We only wish we had that, but obviously we have hands, so no need for all that. But they are called Dvipaha. So these elephants they were also frightened. Kampayantaschatam Lankam. They just started to shake up the entire Lanka. Nadehi swaihi, by their own sounds. Natadam varaha. They are making such an amount of sound while they were going. The entire Lanka was shaken up. Kurvantaha ste mahavehaha mahim charana piditam. Mahim, that the earth has been, they are breaking the entire charana pididam kurvantaha. They are with their feet, they were literally beating down on that very earth itself. Rajasa sahasa eva urdhvam jagama. And the dust, because of their beating onto the floor or hitting on the floor, the dust has started to go up. Charanottitam rajahascha sahasa urdhvam jagama. The dust that born out of the feet of those monkeys started to rise up, only to show to the Rakshasas and Ravana, my God, what is that huge amount of cloud of dust we are seeing there? We are not in a desert where movement of the camels can create such an amount of dust. What is this? So to bring an attention of Ravana to what is going on. Rukshaha, Simhaha, Mahishaha, Varanaha, Mrugaha, Kagaha. There were bears, lions, buffaloes, elephants, deers, birds. Tena shabdena, by their sound, Dhitrastaha, frightened. Jagmuhu bhita disho dashaha. They went in 10 different directions. Yeah. How can they go in 10 different directions? Only 8 directions are there. No? North, south, east, west, northeast, southwest, all that, 8 directions are there. No, birds go up. Therefore, the upward is another direction, 9th direction. Some of them, they buried themselves under the ground. So there's no 10th direction. There are 10 different directions they went. Disho dasha. Shikaram tu trikutasya.
Shikaram tu trikutasya.
Pramshum chaikam divi sprusham.
Prashum chaikam divisprusham.
Samantat pushpa samchannam.
Samantat pushpa sanchannam.
Maharajata sannibam.
Maharajata sannibham.
Satayojana vistirnam.
Yatayojana vistirnam.
Vimalam charu darshanam.
Vimalam charu darshanam.
Lakshnam Sriman Mahachaiva.
Lakshnam Sriman Mahachaiva.
Dushprapam Shagunairapi.
Dushprapam shakunairapi.
Manasapi Duraroham.
Manasapi duraroham.
Impuna Karmana Janehi.
Impunah karmana janaihi.
Vishishta Tasya Shikare.
Vishta tasya shikhare.
Lankaravana Palita.
Lankaravana palita.
Dashayojana Vistirna.
Dashayojana vistirna.
Vimshatyojana Mayata.
Vimshadyojana mayata.
Sapuri Gopurairuchaihi.
Sapuri gopurairuchaihi.
Pandurambuda Sannibaihi.
Pandurambuda sannibaihi.
Kanchanena cha shalena.
Kanjanena cha shalena.
Rajatena cha shobhate.
Rajatena cha shobhate.
Prasadaischa vimanaischa.
Prasadaischa vimanaischa.
Lanka paramapushita.
Lanka paramabhushita.
Dhaner ivada. Dhaneri papa ye.
Ghanairiva.
1 minute. Dhaneriva apaye. Okay, wow. Ganairivata papaye.
Ganairivata papaye.
Madhyamam Vaishnavam padam.
Madhyamam Vaishnavam padam.
Yasyam stamba sahasrena.
Yasyam stambha sahasrena.
Prasada samalankritaha.
Prasada samalankritaha.
Kailasa shigarakaro.
Kailasa shikharakaro.
Drishyate swamilo. Drishyate kham iva ullikan.
Drishyate khammivolikhan.
Chaityasa rakshasendrasya.
Chaityasa rakshasendrasya.
Babuva paramabhushanam. Babuva purabhushanam.
Babhuva purabhushanam.
Shatena rakshasam nityam.
Yatena rakshasam nityam.
Yas samagrena rakshyate.
Yah समग्रेण रक्षते.
So the one of the peaks of the Trikutasya ekam shikaram pramshum, that prominent one particular peak, praamshu means prominent, ekam shikaram trikutasya divisprusham, as though touching the heavens there, that tall divi sprusham, it is touching the entire, this top, it's as though touching the skies, skyscraper. Nowadays we say, what is that? They have that in the Middle East somewhere. Skyscrapers, the tallest, Haifa or something, tallest one. Samantat Pushpa Sanchannam, and also it is not just a very concrete, it is Pushpa Sanchannam, fully covered with trees, and so it's beautiful, laden with flowers. Maharajasannibam, Rajata Sannibam, it looks like a Maharajata. It is very beautifully, as though like shining like a gold there. Shatayojana Vistirnam Vimalam Charu Darshanam. This very Lanka is Shatayojana Vistirnam. 100 yojanas. 1 yojana is 8 miles. 800 miles Vistirnam, wide. Vimalam Charu Darshanam, beautiful, and to look at it, it's very beautiful. Slakshnam Sriman Mahachaiva Dushprabam Shakunairapi. And it was even for the birds to reach there is not possible. Meaning, it is so tall, it is not possible for even the birds to reach there. And Slakshnam, very smooth, Sriman, very looking bright, very fully laden with all and mighty. And Manasabi Dur Aroham, even with the mind you cannot go there. Kim Punaha Karmana. Janaihi Manasa Api Dur Aroham. Even with the mind, by the people, even with the mind they cannot go there. What to talk of going by action? Nivishta Tasya Shikare, that the top of that Trikuta mountain is the actual, see, the city and the country, both are named Lanka. Sometimes that happens also. Iowa and Iowa city. So that there is Iowa state also is there, Iowa city is also there. So this Lanka city as such, Ravana Palita Lanka Tasya Shikare, Trikutasya Shikare, that is there. And the summit of the top of the Trikuta mountain is the Lanka as a city, Ravana Palita. Dashayojana Vistirna, that Lanka city is Dashayojana Vistirna, wide with 10 yojanas, which is 80 miles, and Bimshat Yojanam Ayata, long 80 miles, 80 by 80 miles. That is the total area covered. That is 666. How much is 80 by 80? 80 by 80 is how much? Now those who are calculating, you should know. 6,400 square miles. Sapuri Gopuraihi Uchaihi, with the tall towers. Pandurambuda Samnibaihi, they are looking like that of the white clouds. The towers and mansions, towers actually. Kanchanena cha shalena rajatena cha, and it also with having golden fence and also silver looking fence. Kanchanena rajatena shalena shobate. and prasadaischa palaces, vimanescha mansions, Lanka paramabhushita, it is well decorated Lanka. Ganair iva atapa apaye madhyamam vaishnamam padam. It is looking like that of the interspace. Because Vishnu, when he took the Vamana avatar and then started to scale, because he said 3 foot land I will give, 1 foot he covered the entire earth. The 2nd foot he covered the entire interspace, up to the heavens. So that is called Vaishnava Pada. So Vaishnavam Padam Madhyamam. Madhyamam Vaishnavam Padam. The interspace, Ganehi Iva, like that of the clouds, Atapa Apaye. When the summer season has ended, the clouds started gathering in the sky. It looked like that. The mansions and the palaces are like huge towers, and so Yasyam Stamba Sahasrena, and in which that Lankayam, there is a palace which there with it had 1,000 pillars. In Madurai also they have 1,000 pillar palace. It's Ayiram Kal Mandapam. Ayiram means 1,000. Kal means this stamba. So it is a 1,000 pillared, huge Sahasrena. Prasada, the palace. Samalankrita, well decorated. Kailasa Shikara Akara. It appears like that of the Kailasa Shikara. Drishyate Kam Iva Ullukan. It is as though touching the sky. Ullikan means almost scraping, skyscrapers. Chaityaha, the abode, Rakshasendrasya, that is the abode of Ravana. Paramabhushanam babuva, it appears very well, beautifully, very well decorated with bhushanas, all the ornament. And Shatena Rakshasa Nityam Samagrena Rakshyate, it is always guarded by hundreds of Rakshasas. And why guarded? Because he lives in fear. See, interesting thing is, those who are not at all afraid of anything, should they be guarded? In many of the houses, beware of dog. I know how frightened you are while living inside that house. Because you need the dogs to protect you. We should write in a temple, beware of God. Only one letter. Come here, you will be aware of God. Be aware of, not beware, be aware. So he was guarded by hundreds of these Rakshasas. That only shows he's so afraid of anything that will happen to him. Because he conquered all the places and destroyed many people. Obviously, all of them are enemies around. Anytime they will attack. Aganita Gunagana Bhushana Rama Ashrita Vatsala Jaya Jaya Rama Ayodhyavasi Sita Rama Apad Bandhava Jaya Jaya Rama Dasharatanandana Sri Rama Dashamukhamardana Jaya Jaya Rama Kausalya Sukhavardhana Rama Kamita Palata Jaya Jaya Rama Papa Vimochana Sri Rama Pattabhirama Jaya Jaya Rama Janaga Jivana Sita Rama Jaya Raghurama Jaya Siya Rama Vanara Sevita Sri Rama Vaditi Bandhana Jaya Jaya Rama Hanumat Pujita Sita Rama Sri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Raghava Raja Rama Patita Pavana Sita Rama Sri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama श्री राम जय जय राम। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय।